You guys, I am so excited to see Charles Oliveira come back and fight again this weekend. I'm not super excited about the matchup, but the version of Charles Oliveira I think that we are going to get on Saturday is going to be the most dangerous version of Charles Oliveira that we have ever seen before. Charles do Bronx Oliveira 2.0, if you will. And I'm going to get into exactly why I think he's going to be an unstoppable force in the lightweight division for the next couple of years. But before I do, if you wouldn't mind, hit the like and subscribe button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm and it helps grow the channel. So, if we look back to Charles Oliveira's career, he's had some losses on his hands, right? He's had some downfalls. He's had to pick himself back up, and he's had to dust himself back off. And he went from being sort of what's the word I'm looking for? A journeyman to a UFC world champion. And may I say, one of the most exciting UFC champions we have had. And he could have potentially been a champion for years to come if there wasn't a guy named Islam Makhachev. And one of the things that brought this on, right? One of the things that brought this on was the birth of his first child. The birth of his first child was one of the reasons that he cited as to what, like, got his head right, got him in the game, got him just winning, just having that will and that dog in him to win. Right? So if you look back to his career, other than the losses to Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan, right? Which the one to Arman Tsarukyan, if I were a judge, I would have given him that, right? Because he had the more dominant positions, submission attempts, all that type of thing. The only problem was he had, he had bottom position. Right? And the judges see you on the bottom and they immediately give the round to the other guy unless you're doing some crazy damage off your back. So anyway, so look at this, right? We've got just kind of win, loss, win, loss, Lost to Frankie Edgar in the beginning of his career, lost to Cowboy, lost to Cub Swanson. These are good names, right? Lost to Max Holloway, right? Lost to Anthony Pettis, Ricardo Lamas. Kind of before he went on his tear was Paul Felder, right? And then he goes on, beats Clay Guida, Christos Gallegos, I don't even know this guy, Jim Miller, David Timur, Nick Lentz, Jared Gordon, Kevin Lee, Tony Ferguson, Chandler becomes champion, beats Poirier, beats Justin Gaethje. So around the time that Paul Felder beat him, that was right before his first child was born, right? That was the time that his first child was born. And then that awakened something in him to just come out of nowhere and go on a tear and eventually get the UFC championship belt, right? Now what's happened recently in his life, and you can see him, pictures with his newborn baby, right? And so what I think is going to happen, what has happened with Charles, maybe he's on a bit of a skid. I lost to Islam Makhachev. Nobody's beating Islam Makhachev at lightweight, right? But basically, everybody else in the division, I think, is going to have a huge problem facing Charles Oliveira now that his second child has been born. He's got another mouth to feed, another person in the family to provide for, right before he goes ahead and leaves for UFC 309. He's saying the Lord's Prayer with his teammates, his family, his child there, just looking really grounded, really centered, super determined, right? Now, he's already beaten Michael Chandler, right? And a lot of us look at this and are like, Chandler's 38. He's been out for 2 years. He's not winning, right? But the dude has explosive power. He's given Charles problems before. That first fight for the championship belt. Had that round gone on another 10 seconds, we might be, whistling a different tune, as they say, right? But I think right here, right now, we might be seeing Charles Oliveira unlock the even next best version of himself. The only asterisk to me, the only thing drawing him back is his age, right? He's 35 years old right now. You know what I mean? Once you kind of pass that 35-year-old mark, it becomes challenging for you to keep up with the young youth of the division, right? And I think he's, no matter what, always going to have a problem with Islam Makhachev. He is just better, right? But we could be in a situation right now, and he said, we could be in a situation right now where Charles Oliveira, goes on a tear, runs through everybody at lightweight other than Islam Makhachev. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to see. What he has said is if he wins tonight, he's going to be showing up for that title fight. If he wins at 309, he's going to show up for the title fight between Sarukian and Islam, and he's going to demand to face the winner. And whoever that winner is, be prepared for the fight of your life, because Charles Du Bronx Oliveira 2.0 is in the house. And I think basically he has a great skill set to beat absolutely anybody in the lightweight division, except for Islam Makhachev. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think we're going to see a new version of Charles? Do you think we're going to see Charles Oliveira 2.0? I would love to see him get the win on Saturday night, and I'd like to see him go on one more glorious run before he hangs up the gloves. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.